Hello, I'm Benoit.
Hello, I'm Thierry.
I'm Allison.
I'm Abdul. We are so excited to welcome you to Snowflake Summit.
When Snowflake was founded, our mission was to make it easier for people to work with all kinds of data.
Today, we're still doing it. And our next chapter is to make it easier for everyone to use AI, the most powerful technology we've seen in our lifetime.
We are eliminating complexity. Simplify, simplify.
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 And we are making AI accessible to everyone in your organization.
We have put the power of AI at your fingertips.
We are so glad you are here and we have a lot to show you. So let's do it.
Welcome to the age of enterprise AI.
And welcome to Snowflake Summit.
Please welcome Snowflake Chief Executive Officer, Sridhar Ramaswamy.
Wow. Welcome, Data and AI Nation. Welcome to the largest gathering of AI and data professionals in the world. In this room, we have people from nearly every continent on the planet, nearly. It's incredible to be here with you all in the heart of San Francisco. People are here from every industry. And we have folks from entry-level analysts and software engineers to CEOs of the top companies in the world. You are at the epicenter of all things data and AI this week. Before we get started, I want to express my deep gratitude to each of you with us this week and to the tens of thousands that are tuning in from all over the world. Our customers, our partners, developers, and of course, Snowflake employees, all of you who are part of this journey. You're our inspiration, and we're so driven to deliver for you. So thank you from all of us here at Snowflake. The Snowflake AI Data Cloud has exploded over the last 10 years because of what you're all building and connecting on our platform. We have thousands of customers exchanging information every single day on the AI Data Cloud. The number of data sharing relationships and value created is enormous. And we're serving 5 billion queries every single day. That's almost the scale of the number of daily Google searches that happen on the planet. Think about that, Google searches. And we're handling massive workloads from the biggest companies. There are 200 trillion rows in our largest customer table. Snowpark, which enables us to bring the power of Snowflake to Python users, is taking off. 50% of our customers are now using Snowpark. All of this happens thanks to you. We are grateful and with their business. Over 320 of them will be sharing their stories with you this week. We are grateful to our partners who work with us to bring amazing products and services to our customers. Over 200 of them are here to support your journey. And of course, thanks to all the snowflakes in the room who work tirelessly to create a product that is easy to use and one that we are all very proud of. Woo! Thank you. I'm relatively new in this job as the CEO of Snowflake. It's been 3 months, even though it sometimes feels like, 3 years, in a good, fun kind of way. And for the last year, I led Snowflake's AI strategy and innovation before becoming CEO. And I've been a big fan of Snowflake for many years prior to that. I worked in data all my life. I grew up in a very STEMmy neighborhood in Bangalore. Science was thought to be the true way forward. Of course, I had slightly different aspirations. I was passionate about drumming. But my parents were like, no, you need a better career than that. And So instead of pursuing my musical career, I did the only other natural thing. I got a PhD in databases from Brown University. And then I worked on query processing at Bell Labs for quite a few years before getting the startup bug and working on an analytics firm in the dot-com era. Not one quite as well known or as successful as Snowflake, but a good experience nonetheless. I then spent a very long chapter building and leading the ads business at Google, where I learned what it requires to combine technology, customer utility, and amazing people to create an industry-leading business. Now, there's no company in the world that is more focused on combining great technology with customer utility than Snowflake. And I'm beyond excited to be here with you today. As the new CEO, it's sometimes useful to start with what's not going to change. First and foremost, thousands of snowflakes around the world are going to continue to be obsessed with your success. We put customers first. We stand behind the product that we create. Our Net Promoter Scores are through the roof, and that's what we aspire for day in and day out. Whether it's Petco creating their 360-degree customer view on Snowflake to better serve pet parents, or Sub-Zero processing connected product data to recommend preventative maintenance to customers, or the city of San Francisco sharing data across departments to create a better resident experience. We measure our success based on your success. The second thing that is not going to change is our commitment to the hard work of building a single, unified platform. It's easy to deliver a disjointed set of services and tools for every job. Just keep shipping all manners of things and leave the hard job of integration to you. At Snowflake, we don't do that. Snowflake delivers a unified platform that makes the complex simple, sophisticated, and cost-efficient. And you know what? Most of all, Snowflake just works. And over the past several years, we have made major foundational investments to support much broader use cases that you've been asking us for. But we have done the difficult job of engineering them to deliver them as part of the same core platform that just works. And what does this mean for all of you? At the core of the AI Data Cloud is, of course, data. And we have expanded the universe of data that Snowflake can operate on. Now, Snowflake's governance and performance extends to external data lakes with open table formats like Apache Iceberg and to transactional data. We've connected every silo of data that your business cares about, whether it's internal or external, and we have provided the ability to discover, access, and collaborate across your ecosystem. And to complement this data foundation, we have delivered Cortex AI, our fully managed service that puts generative AI into the hands of every Snowflake user. And then, leveraging this intelligent and connected core, you can build and run modern applications of the kind that are not even possible in the traditional SaaS model of building software on the cloud. And over 1,000 of these applications are already running inside the AI Data Cloud, and 160 of these are available in the Snowflake marketplace. Every person in your organization, from sales to marketing to finance, can use apps that deliver data to them through conversation, not code. The AI Data Cloud is lighting up every corner of the enterprise, and we're just getting started. As the AI Data Cloud has expanded in scope and capability, many of you, especially those at large enterprises, have been asking us for better ways to centralize security and access to all your data, not just the data that's stored in Snowflake. You want a simple and efficient way to apply the right engine for the right job and use Snowflake for new use cases. And you want to know you have control over your catalog and that it's not owned by anyone other than you. And that's why I am thrilled to announce the Polaris catalog, an open catalog for Apache Iceberg. Woo! And I'm delighted to be making this commitment to open catalog interfaces to deliver interoperability with AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, and many other industry leaders. And to give you total control and flexibility, we will be open sourcing this work in the next 90 days. Woo. Now, back to the core platform. What is changing? We are accelerating product delivery. We know that while you appreciate previews, you want things in GA so you can send them into production. And after some time of building a solid foundation to be able to add on more capabilities to Snowflake, we are permanently accelerating our pace of delivery. You can expect rapid-fire delivery from us going forward. And this matters, especially in AI, where innovation cycles run in weeks, maybe months, certainly not years. And Snowflake is now driving that pace across the entire platform. Over the past year, I've met with over 200 customers. And the number one topic that comes up in these meetings is how we, Snowflake, can help with AI. Why do we think this is top of mind for every enterprise leader? AI is opening up enormous possibilities because for the first time, every person in the organization can talk to their data in fluid, natural language. And in just a few years, the norm is going to be that we're going to be able to tell every app what we want, and it's going to understand us. Accent or no accent, which I think is pretty amazing. But here's the issue. The bar for AI in the enterprise is much higher than that for consumer use. It has to be reliable. It has to be trustworthy. And while at one hand, it's tremendously exciting to contemplate the possibilities that AI creates, it's also scary because consumer AI is not ready for business use cases. It's not good enough for your customers to get the right answer to their support question half the time. And yet, that's where consumer AI is. So the most pressing problems that you have to confront are, how can I harness my AI and my data to evolve my business? How do I avoid vendor lock-in? How do I get access to all the data I need to drive AI while also protecting my privacy and security? How do I find and hire the skill set that my enterprise needs? And most of all, how do I manage the cost of AI? This, especially the last question, comes up in every conversation. People look at demos, say it looks great, but they say, I want to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth before I go and invest millions, if not tens of millions, into AI. Every rational business leader should ask that question. Of course, I do. And that's where Snowflake comes in. We are pioneering the era of enterprise AI. It's easy, it's efficient, it is trusted. In technology revolution, true mass adoption happens once things become easy. When things go from the hands of the chosen few to the hands of many. And with the AI Data Cloud, it's never been easier to understand, easier to build, easier to reinvent. We're doing that work for you. And the next 10 years are going to drive so much innovation that they will dwarf what's been done over the last 20, even 30 years. So how is Snowflake making this happen? First, data, particularly unstructured data, is the foundation of AI. And we know data, and we know enterprise requirements. We have an amazing engineering team of thousands of people across the globe that understand what it takes to build an enterprise-grade platform. To complement that data foundation, we have assembled one of the leading AI research teams in the industry. Our AI research team brings together hundreds of engineers in the 6 key disciplines required to deliver enterprise AI. The engineers leading these teams are responsible for seminal contributions to their fields. In training, we have the brilliant minds behind DeepSpeed and TensorFlow. In the area of multimodality, our team builds state-of-the-art models for multimodal tasks that perform better than GPT-4. We have depth in open source language models, including the leader of LLM 360, which set a standard for openness. We are bringing expertise in natural language processing and search. And of course, top of mind for the enterprise, we are applying amazing inference research rooted in academia to the problem of delivering cost efficiency to the enterprise. And this team is working at breakneck speed to deliver easy, efficient, and trusted AI to all of you. And of course, it's built into our unified platform that powers the AI data cloud. Snowflake's promise of efficiency is rooted in our understanding that AI can't really have a blank check in the enterprise. And we all know what happens to blank checks. The accountants come calling in a year. And I hear consistently from my customer conversation that Snowflake delivers the best return on investment of any data platform because we dramatically lower the total cost of ownership, that we continuously improve price performance, and that we help people unlock new revenue streams. Companies like Pfizer were able to reduce their TCO by 57% by migrating onto Snowflake. And we are applying that exact same approach to AI. And there's nothing more rewarding than your customers validating that relentless focus on ease, performance, and efficiency. And AI is such a large and burgeoning field that no story here can be complete without considering the broader ecosystem. There are an incredible number of players and a new announcement practically every day. While we do have an amazing team, we cannot do everything by ourselves. It takes a village, and that's why we have partnerships with all the leading industry leaders. Within our Cortex AI managed service, we have already given you access to many industry-leading models. You can use models from Google, Meta, Mistral AI, NVIDIA, Raycon, or of course, our own Snowflake Arctic models, which have been optimized to deliver cost efficiency for enterprise use cases. And as new models emerge, we will be making them available to you, fully managed. You can also access Snowflake Arctic via your model garden or catalog of choice from AWS, Microsoft Azure AI, NVIDIA, and many, many others. As a product person at heart, it's been incredible to see what partners are already building using Cortex AI. The magic unlock of AI is being able to interact with our computers, with software, in fluid, natural language. Our partner, Coda, is already making this a reality. With Coda Brain, any business user can ask questions of their enterprise structured or unstructured data like documents, and they can get results that an enterprise user can trust. In this example, Coda Brain uses Cortex AI to generate an accurate response about project milestones based on internal documents. It also tells us where the answer is coming from. And depending on a user's permission, it can give different responses to protect sensitive information. Like, I don't know, maybe who's getting promoted. And Coda Brain can return full data results to answer classic business questions without any SQL skills. This means business users have the data and the visuals they need to walk into any meeting. Coda Brain is entering private preview today, and you can learn more about how it was built in a session tomorrow. AI-driven reinvention is happening across industries. We are working with you, our customers, and our partners to pioneer the future of your industry. Many of these examples are already in production at large scale. Deloitte Germany has developed a copilot in their Smart Factory data platform targeted at understanding production anomalies. This copilot gives joint customers a guided research experience to use historical incident data to resolve issues in operations. Accenture has built the clinical study insight generation assistant. This solution enables researchers to take advantage of prior research and their proprietary data to accelerate their clinical studies, thus getting new medicines to patients faster. EY has enhanced their insurance insights platform to summarize, infer sentiment, and generate confirmation emails from claim center calls. This is increasing both adjuster productivity and effectiveness and customer net promoter score. The list goes on and on. Our investments in the platform and in the ecosystem means that we are delivering incredible value today while also future-proofing. The AI Data Cloud gives you access to the most innovative models and applications emerging in the ecosystem, available within your enterprise data foundation and managed and made efficient for you. Now, no company is more synonymous with AI than NVIDIA. Together, Snowflake and NVIDIA are helping enterprises turn generative AI from an aspiration to a reality. NVIDIA is underpinning many of our partner solutions and Snowflake Cortex AI itself. Not only that, we are collaborating to make data processing both cheaper and faster with accelerated computing. We are very fortunate to be joined here today, live from Taipei, founder and CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang. Please give him a big round of applause.
Sridhar, it's great to see you.
Jensen, it's great to have you back at Summit. Last year, you said we are in the midst of the biggest computing revolution the world has ever seen. It's been incredible to see how quickly things have been moving since then. What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, I wish I could be there with you live because the announcement we're about to make together is just so important, and it's one of the most important technologies we work on. First, I want to say, you said earlier, Cortex AI has an amazing team. We've been working with Cortex AI. You have an amazing AI team. It is truly world-class. I'm here in Taiwan because we're at the beginning of a new era in computing. And the AI infrastructure, the computing infrastructure of the world is really built here. And so I'm here to unite the ecosystem of all the companies, technology companies here, so that we can focus on creating the AI infrastructure for the new industrial revolution. And so it's been a crazy few days, and it's going to be a crazy week. Otherwise, I'd be there live with you.
Thank you, Jensen. Just to hear you speak about the next industrial revolution and the impact that it can have is amazing. Shifting gears just ever so slightly, I want to talk about our partnership and how we are supporting customers together. You know this, NVIDIA's industry-leading accelerated computing is game-changing for our customers. And it's also been game-changing for Snowflake's own AI research team as we develop Snowflake Arctic. Our team built Arctic in just 3 months for only a few $1 million on incredibly efficient NVIDIA GPUs. And the Snowflake NVIDIA engineering collaboration helped reduce training time and improve efficiency. These allowed us to build state-of-the-art models for our community and our customers. What do you think, Jensen, especially as one of the early launch partners for Arctic?
Yeah, this is really a great achievement. First of all, you said something earlier that's really important. The fact of the matter is AI requires very large-scale computing, and we should do it as quickly, which translates directly to as cost-effectively as possible. The less time that you have to rent the infrastructure, the lower the cost. The more iterations you could train your models, the sooner you can get to market. The technology is moving so fast. Time to market is everything. You could either be time to market with a groundbreaking new achievement, or you could be second to market that makes an incrementally better achievement. And so time to market is vitally important. Efficiency is vitally important. Cost is really important. And in every single case, the training time is vitally important. The work in getting training time performance down, of course, getting performance up and training time down has everything to do with the infrastructure, how it's managed, but a lot of it has to do with the training software, the entire stack that it takes to be able to train these incredibly large models across a very large number of processors. And so the achievement that we had is really terrific. When that's done, remember one of the things that's happening here, we used to call it inference, and it's inference, but inference is for most people thinking about presenting something to an AI and having the AI make some prediction. What's really happening here is that we're now in the era of generative AI, where the AI model is generating tokens. We want to generate those tokens as quickly as possible so that the interactivity and the experience is good, but also you want to generate it quickly so that the cost could be down. Right. And so rate of generation is really important, and we've had the good pleasure of working with your team to integrate TensorRT LLM, which is really a revolutionary runtime for token generation.
That's right. The collaboration between the teams has been just fabulous to watch, both in training as well as inference. We've also partnered to bring accelerated computing directly to the Snowflake platform. Cortex AI, our fully managed service that helps enterprises democratize generative AI, runs only on NVIDIA accelerated compute. Snowpark Container Services, which allows customers to develop secure custom AI solutions, is also accelerated by NVIDIA chips. And of course, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have a big new announcement to share. I'm thrilled to announce that Snowflake has adopted NVIDIA AI enterprise software to integrate NeMo retriever microservices, which are great for search, into Cortex AI so that business users can efficiently build and leverage bespoke AI-powered applications. I think this is incredible news, and thank you, Jensen. What excites you most about bringing accelerated compute to our customers?
Yeah, this is really when you take a step back, this is a profound announcement, and a couple of different ways. So the first thing is NeMo Retriever. NeMo Retriever is a semantic query library. It does the embedding of your data. The most important the most important asset of a company is its proprietary data, and it sits on Snowflake. And so it's your most treasured resource. We now have the ability to help you embed that, index that, search that, rank that, and in a very simple way, connect extremely large and proprietary data directly to your ability to chat with it. And of course, once you can chat with it, you can connect it to a whole bunch of other microservices and other AIs that you're developing in your company. Now, NeMo Retriever is a compute engine that is years in the making and hundreds of engineers so that we could process enormous amounts of data. The second thing that you said is really important because for the very first time, we're bringing high performance computing, accelerated computing, and generative AI computing to the data. You know, back in the old days, we have a computer and we would retrieve data from storage and we move it over to the network and we do the computation in the computer. We move data to computer. But as you know, the data has become so gigantic, and some of the statistics that you were talking about earlier is kind of mind-blowing. The amount of data that companies have in Snowflake is so gigantic, you can't move that somewhere else to do the processing. It's a lot easier to just move the computing to the data. And now that NVIDIA accelerated computing and generative AI computing is in every single cloud and the same place where Snowflake is, to be able to do the processing right there on Cortex AI is completely revolutionary. The amount of data movement cost and, you know, well, just the time it takes, the cost it takes, and whatever security concerns that you have is now taken away. This is just a big, big deal.
I couldn't agree more. You know, earlier I talked about a table with 200 trillion rows, and now trying to shift that over somewhere else to do something, that's really not a thing. And that's where this collaboration really comes in. Of course, what's been exciting about our partnership is what customers have been able to accomplish. I have lots of examples. One particular one is from Siemens Energy, who built a RAG-based chatbot for technical teams around the world to search and ask questions about 700,000 pages of R&D documents. And this was built using Cortex AI, of course, with NVIDIA GPUs and a Streamlit frontend. And this is just one example of a massive productivity boost from AI. And we're seeing many use cases like this across the industry. Broadly, Jensen, what trends are you seeing in terms of AI applications? Where are people getting value?
Well, of course, one of the most important use cases is customer service. In just about every single company, every single industry, there's some customer, either internal customer, employees, or external customers, whether it's telco customers or financial services or health services or whatever. All these large industries have just a massive amount of queries that come in related to customer service. For the very first time, you can connect that up to a automated and AI generative agent. Now, the important thing, of course, with generative AI is you could automate and improve the customer service and the engagement with employees and customers. But very importantly, you connect your company into a flywheel. Because, of course, the most important thing you treasure in your company is knowledge of your business, knowledge of your customers, knowledge of yourself. That is all encoded in, captured in our data. And so one of the things that's really going to be very important here is that once we connect the world to this flywheel, the amount of data that we're going to have to load into Snowflake is going to grow quite exponentially. It's already growing exponentially. It's probably going to get turbocharged because of generative AI. And having Cortex AI right next to that data is going to help customers, help all of your customers, all of our customers do their processing, engage generative AI, and drive down their cost.
That's amazing. Well, certainly, there's no shortage of opportunity. Before we wrap up, I am sure our audience here would appreciate some wisdom from you around how they can get started with enterprise AI. What advice would you have for them?
Well, one of the things that we did, we realized the rate at which generative AI is going to move. You know, we used to see that the world was moving at Moore's law rate. AI is moving at much faster than Moore's law rate. Not 2x every 2 years, but 2x every 6 months.
Yep.
But it is pretty clear now that we're likely to move even faster than that. And the reason for that is because of this data flywheel that I was just talking about. Inside our company, we're using generative AI to do several things. One, to transform the way we work. And we started in the most important part of our business, which is building and designing chips. It allows us to explore much, much larger design spaces and enable our engineers to be able to try experiments we otherwise didn't have time, didn't have the capacity to, or didn't have the AI to do, algorithms to do. And so now we could explore larger design spaces. We also use AI to transform our own business, which is computer graphics. We can't design any of our software anymore without using AI to help us look for optimizations and such. We also use AI to invent new businesses, self-driving cars. We're doing humanoid robotics, the work that we're doing in healthcare with digital biology, many new businesses that we otherwise wouldn't be able to engage if not for generative AI. And then lastly, horizontally, every single organization in our company is exploring ways to use RAGs and augment it with agents and finding our most arduous business processes or the business processes most important to our company or that engages the most people so that we could automate that. You know, one of the things that's really important here is to keep going back to the idea that on the one hand, you want to jump on this train as fast as you can. You know, watching it fly by is not a good strategy. Jumping on this train as quickly as you can is important. You could use it to transform your own business, go into new businesses, but ultimately, once you do that, once you engage generative AI, you connect the flywheel in your company so that the data, the experience of your company is captured. You know, we have employees that you know, we're very fortunate in NVIDIA that our employees stay for a long time, but nonetheless, we still have employees that changes their jobs, they get promoted, sometimes they retire, sometimes they go to other countries, sometimes they go back to school, sometimes they go to other companies. We want to make sure that all of the business processes in our company are captured and coded into the DNA of our company. And so you really want to take all of the most important business processes, all of the most important things that you do, and connect it into a flywheel so that you can capture that in data. Every single one of these generative AI experiences transforms into a flywheel. That flywheel captures data. You put that in Snowflake. You process that in Cortex AI. You turn that into your company's AI, which then, you know, drives the flywheel even further. And so I think that the announcement today is really game changing. I'm so happy that you did it. I'm so happy that Snowflake drove this innovation, and I think this is completely game changing.
That's amazing to hear. Thank you so much, Jensen. Thank you for joining us, even while in Taipei. Folks, Jensen Huang.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jensen. When I first asked Jensen whether he could call in, he's like, no problem. Even if it's 1 a.m., I'll call in. He was coming to a trip in Taipei. Super, super grateful for the conversation. It's just incredible to have partners like Jensen and NVIDIA as we are on this AI journey together. We have a huge week planned for you. So I want to leave you with this. Our unified platform is better and stronger than ever. It makes the complex simple, sophisticated, and cost-efficient. And we're permanently accelerating our product delivery. You need products generally available in your hands, and we're going to make it happen fast. And our AI team is working at breakneck speed to deliver easy, efficient, and trusted AI to all of you, all built into our unified data platform that powers the AI Data Cloud. You're at the right place this week. The era of enterprise AI is here. Thank you.
making a difference and ensuring their businesses are ready to succeed in the era of AI. Please welcome to the stage Denise, Anud, Sharon, Caitlin, and Thomas.
Well, hello everyone, and one more time, welcome to Snowflake Summit. So this week is all about data, AI, and learning from each other. So we're therefore really excited to open the event with 4 incredible chief data officers who are going to talk about the role of AI and data in their organizations. And as you all know, the role of the CDO has become mission critical in every organization. So we're going to start this conversation with some advice on what it really takes to succeed in this role or for anyone leading big data initiatives. So, Anu, you have been deeply involved in enterprise data for over 20 years now. What is your experience as a data leader?
Thank you, Denise. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. 20 years in data seems too long, but time has flown by when you are having fun. I have been leading large-scale data transformations and building large data platforms and AI, ML for Fortune 50 country. If you think about the data in the multiple industries I have been, that multiple industries has given me a broad experience on different data problems. I started my career in the retail industry, and retail industry gave me a really good context on hyper-personalization, customer centricity, and delivering an omni-channel experience. Next, with the healthcare, and now with my current role with the financial industry, it gave me a broad perspective on how do you think about data governance, privacy, security, ethics, which I would say is very critical, especially in today's environment. Here at Chase, we are super focused on giving a highly personalized, connected experience for all our customers in different products and services. Data and AI ML is very critical for us to build the best-in-the-class services. This is an exciting time for all of us in the data space. Think about the innovation and disruption which is happening in this industry at this time. And as far as for the CDO role is considered, I would say the couple of traits which are very, very critical, being curious and continuous learning. When I think about CDO, I always think about they are the front lines when they think about data governance, privacy, security. So continue to learn in that space, continue to dig deeper into that space and understand more.
That's great advice, Anu. Caitlin, you have many years of experience in the data world as well, and you've been with Ericsson now for 1.5 years. How has that journey been?
Great, thank you for the question. Fantastic to be here, great to see everyone. I see many fellow data nerds in the audience, so great to see and be seen. As Denise mentioned, recently joined Ericsson, and it's really fantastic in that Ericsson is data-driven at all levels of the organization. The investment in Chief Data Officer role, I think, just further confirms how data and AI is at the center of all of the business transformation that we're driving. So look forward to sharing some of those specific examples today. With respect to the CDO role, a quick story. So about 10 years ago, I wrote a research paper along with several colleagues about the rise of the Chief Data Officer and how they were becoming more and more integral to data and AI transformation. We got a lot of pushback, and people said, we'll figure out data, we'll flip a switch, data will be available, there'll be no need for data leadership, at the enterprise level. And I think what we've witnessed is quite the opposite. With the explosion and growth of all the opportunities we're here this week to investigate and explore, taking responsibility and accountability for stewardship of data and AI is everyone's responsibility across the organization. So really looking forward to sharing some more insights and examples today.
Sharon.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I have to say that I've been here the last 3 years running, including this one, and it gets better and better. So it's really amazing. I think the first piece of advice, like there's a lot to the chief data officer role, obviously, but I'll boil it down to 3 things. So first of all, you can never keep up with all the demands of the data in the organization, so maybe don't even try in some ways. But it's important to remember what the priorities of the organization are. So for us, at New York City Health and Hospitals, being the largest public health system in the United States, serving over 1.5 million patients every year, we have to remember that everything that we do in data and analytics has to serve the primary mission, which is about providing the best quality of care to every New Yorker, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, as well as their ability to pay. Whether or not they can pay, they can get care at New York City Health and Hospitals. So when we think about it that way, then we can focus on the right priorities for us to move forward with. The other thing that I would say is, it's really important to have a focus on, obviously, the strategic initiatives that can move the needle, deliver better healthcare, lower costs of operations, but we also have to keep the lights on. We have to provide data and dashboards and reporting, more of the foundational stuff, to the business owners that are running that part of operations. And finally, we have to keep building the muscle that is about creating the technology competency within our own organization. So things with generative AI, continuing to fine-tune ETL performance, making sure that we can cut down the data delivery cycles. So those are all the things about building our own muscle, and so we have to focus on those things. And if we can do all those things, then I think you can be successful as a CDO.
Thanks. Thomas, you've been with Booking.com for 17 years now. What can you share as advice from your role as a CDO?
Yeah, definitely. 17 years at Booking. Welcome and thank you, everyone. What a wonderful experience this is. So yeah, 17 years at Booking. Booking.com is very famous for having a very data-driven culture, for having an experimentation culture. So it's quite a surprise when we actually introduced the CDO role around 2 years ago now. Just over 2 years ago. And in that time in this role, still trying to form out where our boundaries are, still trying to drive this agenda, I think the main thing that I've been leaning on is really around the understanding of the business. So every business model, every business decision comes with inherent data opportunities, but data risks as well. Being able to really articulate what those opportunities are, what the risks are, how to mitigate, to Sridhar's point earlier on, really how to prioritize what the business value is and how we as a platform, how we as a data sort of culture, ways of working can facilitate that in the best way. So, yeah, business acumen for me.
Yeah, we have tremendous respect for what you do, and the scope of the CDO role is clearly only going to expand moving forward. And one of your most important responsibilities is to make sure that your data strategy is fully aligned and support the mission of your organization. The New York City Health and Hospitals is the largest municipal healthcare system in the US, and you have an incredible mission. How do you make sure that your data strategy is supporting that mission day out, day in? Sharon?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I think the best way to describe it is by sharing what our priorities have been in DNA, which is what we call our data and analytics organization. That started about 4 years ago at this point, and we had 3 strategic priorities to start with. One was data integrity, which is about centralizing data, creating trusted information in one centralized platform, put governance and security around it. Number 2 was data democratization, to make sure that the people that we give access to, they are empowered and educated to use the data, because it's not enough just to give access. You have to teach them how to do it. And the third priority was around having an operating model, because different stakeholders have different needs, and we have to provide and support those needs regardless of the maturity of their organizations. The fourth one that we actually added last year was around driving measurable business value and transformation as a strategic priority for the data and analytics organization. So an example of where all of this came together was something that we started about a little over a year ago in service of a program called Serving the Special Populations of New York, which include people that are experiencing homelessness. So something that maybe not many people know about is that the number of people that experience this in New York City itself, just last year, there were almost 100,000 people living in homeless shelters. And we wanted to create a capability through data which makes it easy to transfer information back and forth between many different agencies that need this information. So imagine this. So Bob is showing up at the homeless shelter. He needs to see his doctor because his asthma is flaring up. Then he needs to get medications from the pharmacy. He needs to figure out how to pay for it. And then ultimately he wants to get out of the homeless shelter so he can find permanent housing. Now in New York City, there are multiple programs and agencies that can support this. But what's common to all of this is the data that they need to share about Bob as he's going through his journey. And New York City Health and Hospitals is at the center of this all. So we built something called the Data Hub that makes it really easy to share data back and forth across different agencies and follow every step of the journey that Bob is going through and many others like him. So this is how the priorities come together for us. It's an example of what we focus on to drive value and improve healthcare for our population.
Yeah, it's a true patient 360 program.
Exactly.
So over to you, Thomas. First of all, thank you so much for helping with my vacation plans this summer. It was a very smooth process, I must say. Data must have played a big part of that, right?
That's right. So our MLAI teams have a running tagline of, we know what you did next summer. And that's very true to our heart. No, our mission at Booking.com is to make it easier for everyone to experience the world. It doesn't matter who you are, where you go, we'll help you find it. And Booking.com is largely a technology company focused on travel. So we use smart, data-powered, predictive technologies like MLAI to really give you a personalized and connected trip experience that you really help solve the friction for your travel.
Thanks, Thomas. And again, to the audience, if you haven't made your summer vacation plans yet, you know where to go, booking.com. Anu, let's transition over to the financial sector and your mission at JP Morgan Chase.
So, when JP Morgan, as a bank, our mission is we are devoted to being the best bank and the most respected financial services in the world, serving our customers as well as building communities globally. We aim to be the best bank across every customer segment. So when you think about all customer segments, data and technology becomes really, really critical for us. Chase has over 82 million customers and 6.2 million small businesses. When you think about Chase, customer is our center. When we look at our services are opening a bank account, having an auto financial, payment processing, home lending, travels and offers. So customer becomes a critical part of our customer centricity, and how do we give that connected experience? So very similar to how Sharon was talking about patient, for us it's really important how do we understand our customer, every customer segment, whether it's a small business customer or an individual customer, and how do we serve them much better?
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin. At Ericsson, you're literally connecting everything, and data must certainly be a critical component of your mission at Ericsson as well.
Absolutely, and we're fortunate to operate in a very data-rich environment. We have literally, terabytes of data running through our networks, and we have responsibility and a stewardship over that data. So we look at a relentless quest to connectivity. So whether that means streaming on your device in the comfort of your home, whether it's providing digital banking to underserved communities without access to traditional banking services, keeping in touch with loved ones, disaster recovery, access. Those are the types of business critical initiatives that are front and center of our mission. So every day we're thinking about how can we design data systems that will enable us to de-risk and accelerate that mission? How can we provide the type of unlimited, uninterrupted connectivity that we've all come to expect? So that's what we start with. That's how we design a lot of our data-related programs. And then we see it as a playbook. So it's the data strategy, ensuring that it aligns to business strategy. It's implementing the governance systems that makes it possible. It's building out the central data and AI framework and platform and pulling together a lot of the disparate data sources. It's building alliances with the business, so we have those most important business principles front and center. And then finally, it's what are we doing to attract and retain talent? So how can I throw out the most complex, at-scale, global opportunities that will really attract the best talent and in order to achieve our mission? Thank you.
Incredible. And as we just heard from Sridhar in his conversation with Jensen, the driving theme of this week is enterprise AI. And I know you're all at different stages of this journey, but Thomas, let's start with you and your approach to enable AI in your organization at Booking.com.
Yeah, definitely. So as I mentioned before, we heavily utilize ML, AI, and now Gen AI techniques to make sure that we put the right product and service in front of the right customer at the right time. So this is very fundamental to make it easier to experience the world. Our approach, we've had chat-to-book technologies for years, voice search technologies for years, and we've really built a forget that. We've really built a platform where we lower the barrier to entry in a very safe, compliant way. So the new Gen AI capabilities, for example, we think it's just another tool in that toolbox. We've really implemented Gen AI, so LLMs or foundational models are available into our NLP service, into our image platform or embedding service, and make it really fundamentally part of our product delivery strategy. A great example of this is it's been almost a year now since we released our AI trip planner in the US to our US customers, which really helps, again, bring people on, serving recommendations in a very natural language way that, again, using those signals, the customer signals that we find, the user journeys to give a personalized recommendation based on traditional ML, as well as the LLMs, and really combining this into one sort of cohesive experience for our customers. So our strategy around ML AI is, like I say, it's very foundational to what we do, where we think this is what's really going to drive that personalized and connected experience. And so, yeah, building it in the heart of our product delivery.
As you said, your engineers know where everyone is going to travel next. So based on my travel arrangements, maybe you know where I'm going next summer already.
We'll take your signals and let you know.
Thank you. All right, so AI is certainly not new in the financial sector. What's your take?
Yeah, we have been doing AI, I would say, from multiple years. AI is definitely not new to the financial sector, especially when you think about risk models. We have been invested in AI more on the, I would say, risk avoidance and cost reduction. But lately, we have shifted our focus, and now we are pivoting into more on the revenue generation. Just to give you a few examples, I talked at length about customer. Customer is the core. But when you think about the customer's unmet needs, where AI plays a significant role for us is how do we provide a digital nudge at the right time? How do we give them a personalized offer? When we think about a sales professional, How do we increase their productivity by giving them the right advice? When I think about our contact center, our operations, AI plays such a significant role in doing the intelligent routing so that we have a much better customer as well as the employee productivity. We all have been talking about Gen AI. That's the latest buzzword. So even at JP Morgan Chase, we have been investing in Gen AI, I would say in multiple domains such as software engineering, our customer service, and operations. We definitely see Gen AI at some point helping us to reimagine how we think about our business workflows. But along with reimagining the business workflows, we would always implement in a very, I would say, thoughtful and a safe way. Because being a regulated industry, it's really important for us to have thinking about data protection as well as ethics and biases at the forefront. So this is more from a use case perspective. But when you think from an enterprise AI, some of the areas where we have been invested in the JP Morgan Chase is building our world-class platforms in the cloud. Our cloud journey has been on the forefront for us, taking our cloud data estate to the cloud, building the platforms which are interconnected so that we can give the frictionless experience for our data scientists and data analysts, making sure we have AI-ready data products. What do I mean by that? Making sure you have high-quality, interconnected data sets, which are diverse in nature, so that as you build the AI solutions, you have complex patterns to think through it. Along with having AI-ready data products, quality absolutely is important. And I will continue to iterate ethics. How do you think about ethics in your data policies? Along with the data, your talent is super important. Your journey to AI cannot be complete without thinking about the talent. In JP Morgan Chase, we have over 2,000 professionals who are high expert in data science as well as in the AI. In fact, we have built Center of Excellence, which is highly focused on being innovation and building in world-class AI solutions.
Thanks. Caitlin, what is your approach at Ericsson towards AI right now?
Fortunately, Ericsson is also, perhaps similar to what you shared, had a long investment in AI initiatives. And personally, prior to joining, I was with IBM for a number of years and ran an AI accelerator organization there in which we built and scaled AI initiatives internally, integrated to products, sold them to customers. So I've been thinking about and working in this space for a long time and really want to echo the piece around the ethical usage of AI. So bringing that perspective to Ericsson. A few examples that we're pursuing, and again, we have AI initiatives across the organization driving significant business value. One example being our digital twin work, which is spearheaded out of Group Function Technology, our largest business unit, IT, all coming together to create digital renderings of physical sites. And what we're seeing is we're able to drive efficiency, experiment with new features and functions. We're reducing workplace hazard because we're sending fewer people out to do repairs with the wrong equipment to sites. We're having an impact from a sustainability perspective. So it's an example of being able to pull disparate data, unstructured data from many different types, drone, sketch, drawing, pull it together into an ISO standard and achieve a number of important business objectives. We're also driving from a foundational perspective capabilities that the entire business can take advantage of. So augmented data management, where we're able to use AI to generate data access rules, determine data products that will drive the most business value, see where data quality degradation may be occurring across the business. So that's another important piece. And then finally, there's a space in which we are pursuing watermarking data so that our data and AI algorithms, we can watermark and see the transparency that supports our commitment to ethical use. So just a couple examples, there are many more, but what I've been struck by in my short time with the organization and company is really driving these AI initiatives and tying it to the business value and impact. So everything we do has a business case and a documented business impact as it progresses through to scale.
Thanks. And the potential of AI is obviously huge in healthcare, but it's also very complex. Sharon, where are you on the AI journey at New York City Health and Hospitals?
Yeah, so listening to Anu, Thomas, and Caitlin talk about a little bit jealous being in the data space, not having that much talent or people focused on this problem necessarily. But we have to understand where we're coming from, which is, again, public health system. We always have to do more with less. That being said, we're very early in our AI journey, and I'll talk specifically about AI as it relates to generative AI, which is the part about having a machine act like a human, because it can see, hear, read, analyze, synthesize, create, build, code, pretty much do everything on its own. Every day it seems like it can do something else. And so last year we formed something called the Enterprise AI Advisory Board, because as you can imagine, after ChatGPT came out, imaginations got lit on fire, and every business owner in the organization was getting pitched by many different companies, many different vendors saying, we do this with AI, we can solve this problem with AI. But every problem is not an AI problem. So we formed this AI Advisory Board with three primary responsibilities. One, where do we make the strategic investments with AI in the enterprise? Based on what priorities? How does it help the mission? Number two, how do we ensure that whenever we implement AI, it's safe, ethical, and responsible? Because the biases that we already have in our society, which is where the LLMs and other AI systems learn from, we cannot allow that to perpetuate in the healthcare system. So that's extremely critical for us. And then the third priority is really around making sure that, again, coming back to the point that we are a public health care system that has to do more with less, ensuring that we define return on investment upfront. What do we expect to get from our investments? So as far as where we are, after having launched the board, we've identified dozens of high-priority use cases, high-priority, high-value use cases across the enterprise, some of which we're actually experimenting with Snowflake on. The second thing that we're doing is actually building out communities of practice, very, very early stage, letting people experiment with the technology, for example, with Cortex and Snowflake Copilot, because we want to make sure that we can ask questions of our data, because that's really when you unlock the potential of the data in the enterprise. And the third thing that we're doing is defining the policies to make sure that we're using AI safely. So that's where we are, and we're also trying to figure out how do we build a financially sustainable strategy to support delivering AI services across the enterprise.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, AI is clearly making an impact across all industries, and everything is moving faster than ever. I can only imagine the number of requests that you and your teams are handling on a daily basis. So I just wonder, how are you prioritizing the demands coming in every single day with the execution towards your long-term mission? Let's start with you, Caitlin.
We joke that it's like a psychologist office where business comes in with list of data and AI needs, demands, initiatives, so no shortage of backlog and pipeline, which is fantastic. I think it's our responsibility to prioritize accordingly to drive business impact. And of course, there's space for experimentation and test, and we have a very curious engineering culture, so that happens naturally, which is fantastic, and we reward and incentivize that piece, but we need to ensure alignment to our strategy. So there are certain data-related initiatives, we call it our data ecosystem strategy, that we're pursuing that will enable our AI and Gen AI work to scale much faster. So moving to common data lake, unified data model, creating some common ingests across. One example, I have some colleagues that gave a talk earlier today that I know was well attended around our federated data lake. And essentially, that's our data fabric, and we've been using that to test a lot of these capabilities so that our data producers and consumers can come together and access data in a much more compliant, seamless way. And I mentioned that we've had investment in a lot of the capabilities that are helping our AI initiatives at scale. So the catalog, the marketplace, and we've had a focus on data. We're expanding that to include AI, so that's our data and AI marketplace, and making sure that we have that prioritization in place. So we're fortunate to have a relatively mature use case identification, AI initiative, identification program, and making sure our responsibility that it aligns to our business priorities.
Sharon, how do you prioritize the requests coming in?
I think when I started my talk, I shared that it's almost impossible to handle all the demands of the organization. So it comes back to understanding what the key priorities of the organization really are. So for us, it's about better patient care. It's about making sure that we can provide access to more people. It's about making sure that we provide safe, equitable care whenever we provide that to our members and patients. And so when we think about prioritization, the DNA organization was formed a little bit before COVID started. So at that point in time, there was a lot of focus on just get information and reports really quickly out to make sure that we had awareness of infection rates and how many vaccinations were being provided, situational surveillance, and so on. And that's been sort of the focus of the organization for a long time. Obviously, we've had priorities around data integrity, democratization, service delivery model, value, and transformation. But now we're taking a little bit more step back and saying, what are the highest priorities from addressing the points in the healthcare delivery system that there's a lot of opportunity to optimize efficiencies, reduce costs, and actually improve the quality of care for the organization. So when we map our work to the biggest priorities of the organization, then it becomes easier to keep the process and the focus moving forward. Again, we also have to be enablers in the organization. That's where data democratization comes in. So that's what we've been doing with Snowflake. We've been ensuring that we build platforms and systems and processes to make sure that across our 11 different acute care hospitals, across 5 post-acute care and skilled nursing facilities in the organization, 70+ care delivery locations across the 5 boroughs of New York, everyone has access to the data that they need, provided we give them the training and education to support that. So prioritization becomes easy when we focus on the big things, enable the rest. And then the other thing that I would call to mind is we are trying to build coalitions and partnerships with other healthcare systems and other healthcare organizations that are working to solve for the common good. So the good news is in healthcare, at least in public health, we're not competing with anyone else. So the other day I was down in Dallas, which is actually where I live, and I was talking to a CIO of a large safety net hospital and saying, we're all trying to solve the same problems. Can we pool our resources and data and expertise to solve these issues? And he was very interested. And so we plan on having more conversations like that, because doing that can help us address and solve problems for our local communities, but bringing expertise from a national scale.
Yep. Thomas, you've been through many tech transformation cycles during your time at Booking.com. Is today unique?
Today definitely feels unique. The technologies are rapidly evolving, but regulatory compliance space is also evolving really rapidly as well. To the point earlier on, you simply can't do everything coming at you. You've got all of these solutions that we want to solve for our customers, making travel easier, and then all of the compliance changes, all of the technology changes. Gen AI has been a really interesting one, where we've actively gone out to our product teams to really educate what is possible, what is the art of possible. We've gone out with a separate process right now to get all of these ideas in, to do the literacy, and really run it through what does the risk assessment look like? What does the product assessment look like? How does it fit as part of our strategy? What are the business ends? And this is really the magic sauce, right? This is how you end up prioritizing what's the best thing for today versus what's the best thing for the long term. Ultimately, though, you don't want separate processes. Gen AI isn't unique in that sense, that you do want just a healthy product development cycle. You do want a healthy pipeline where Gen AI is no different to other ML or analytics solutions. So taking this approach, we have to always be conscious to bring it back into a single pipeline, a single ML AI roadmap, a single prioritization framework, so that just because something's labeled Gen AI doesn't mean it jumps to the top of the queue straight away. We're still focusing around what we're really trying to deliver, which is solving our customer needs. So yeah, for me, the prioritization process is absolutely the most important thing to get right, to keep the business moving, keep it focused on really what matters for your customers, as opposed to what looks nice and shiny.
And finally, I know you lead a very large organization at JP Morgan. How do you help everyone prioritize all the requests coming in?
Yeah, so I think very similar to all my panel fellow members. It's a good problem to have that there are too many things right now because there is so much of excitement on data and AI, ML. But at the same time, a prioritization is important because no priority is, everything cannot be prioritized, so there has to be some priority. So what we have done is at JP Morgan Chase, the business and technology works very, very closely. We have a product model where product and technology works closely. And in fact, we call it a quad model where product, data, technology, and design, they all work hand in hand to make sure the Chase experience is embedded in every product, especially in this space when we are trying to make sure that we have AI-enabled product and services. We do want to make sure that we are working on the right priority and balancing the short-term needs with a longer-term vision. So product and technology, along with the data and design, we work closely and ensure that the priority is done. We have high-priority use cases, which make sure that we are working on the highest value on the business side, and making sure that the data is enabled for them, the product features are enabled, the platforms are enabled. And very similar to Caitlin, we are focused very heavily in making sure the marketplace is delivered so that not every analyst and scientist has to search for the data. The feature store, heavily focused on the feature store so that we have a single feature store. And not only there is a single view on those features, but also making sure that reusability and accessibility is seamless across all our data scientists and analysts. So very similar to these priorities, our cloud journey is a high priority, our data modernization is a high priority, and AI ML acceleration. So balancing of those short-term and long-term needs is the most important thing for us, where product and tech work seamlessly together.
Thank you. We have covered a lot, and we have one final minute here. I have one question for you. What are you most excited about this week? Anu?
I think I've talked a lot about data management and data governance being a regulated industry. I'm really looking forward to how AI-enabled data management is focused in this conference. And one of the things which would be really interesting to see is the catalog. Catalog is really, really important for us, especially thinking about from a metadata management and how Iceberg plays a role from an open table formats.
Sharon?
There's so much, it's hard to choose, actually. But I would say the best part about coming to Snowflake Summit is getting to meet people that are pushing the envelope and solving really hard problems. And I always enjoy meeting so many smart people that can teach me so much more about what we can do.
We are so focused on data quality, data access, because we find our model output is so heavily dependent on those factors. So I'm always interested in discussions around building trusted data. How do you build it? How do you access it? New capabilities to do that faster at scale, the ethical implications of how we track and use data. And finally, it's fantastic to meet with like-minded data practitioners. So great to be here.
And Thomas, I know you're really excited about the catalog too.
About the what, sir?
You're excited about Polaris too, the catalog.
Definitely, Polaris. So, yeah, super excited. We're an early adopter of Iceberg. We're in the private preview. Having the catalog to support Iceberg is music to my ears. So super excited about that. Also excited about the talks my teams are doing. We've got some on Snowflake's capabilities around data sharing and clean rooms, granular access rights, as well as ML observability. But more broadly, that's a selfish one from my teams, but more broadly, hearing what everyone's doing and the problems they're solving is so inspirational. Yeah, to your point, it's just hearing what everything's going on, really, really inspiring. So that's what
well, thank you all for a great conversation and your advice. Please give our panelists a round of applause. I think we can all agree that the CDO is truly the new corporate rock star. And to the audience here in Moscone and to everyone on the live stream from all around the world, thank you all for joining us. The welcome reception is about to get started, so be sure to join us there. And let's make it snow in San Francisco.